Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Another episode, AAL2 Turf Talk. So last week, or on our last episode, you got an opportunity to kind of know some of the leadership as far as the league as a whole. But this week, you're going to start to learn about each individual division. We're starting with the South. So with that being said, it's time to get started to get these gentlemen in here. You're going to get a coach or owner and a player, ask them some questions, give you an opportunity to get to know these individual teams, because how you gonna watch them if you don't know who they are? So let's get to it. So, gentlemen, appreciate you guys hopping on. What I like to do things is I like to allow you to introduce yourself to the people because nobody knows you better than you.
For sure.
So
So
I'll leave it to y'all. Who would like to go
yes, sir.
first? Who would like to go second?
All right. So I'll kick it off. I'm Brandon Glenn. I'm the owner of the Tri-City Rivergators. This year two for me. We jumped in the AIF last year. Had a few things going on. You can go back in the news clips and the Facebooks and check all that out. But yeah, man, it's a journey. It's an entrepreneurship. You gotta keep persevering. You gotta pioneer through this. You know what I mean? If you really want to get guys seen, you really want to get guys out there. So just more about me. Uh, Played ball in Birmingham. Went to school at Auburn State. Breaking my leg. Had a few kids. So had to learn. Some trades. Marketing and sales is what I'm in the most, and made a career out of that. So now I done fell into this. Me and my dad, we started this team up, so it's a family-owned team, and we just looking to get these guys to the next level and you know go as far as we can. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Coach Glenn, are you also a coach on your team, or are you just sitting back and letting everybody else do it? You watch it?
I'm not a coach. Not. I kind of hung my whistle up on the wall. You know what I'm saying? I coached a few Dizzy Dean world championships. I got a couple of flag teams I did with my kids, my nieces and nephews growing up. So my coaching days over with.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I leave that to the coaches. I lead them to make those decisions on the field. I make the decisions behind the scenes with the business and getting players in and making sure they good and talking to different teams and sponsors and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the everybody call me coach though, and that's cool. I was a coach, so it's cool. Everybody saying what's up, GM, and all that. You ain't gotta do all that. Whatever you want to do, be Mr. Glenn, be Glenn, coach. I'm cool with it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So we got a player on as well.
Mike Lee. I am a wide receiver for the Tri-City Rivergators. I can't remember, 8 or 9 years deep in professional arena football at this point. I want to say fourth year in the AAL. This would be my first year with the Rivergators, though. I was definitely excited to come over. It's been a little transition. It's a brand new, not a brand new program, but a brand new situation for me. And as so far, it's been, definitely one of the best situations I've been in so far. And I'm really just excited to get everything rolling at this point, just to see, the league, how it's, format and changed from even the inaugural season in 2018. It's a completely different landscape from then. But I have noticed that the competitiveness has stayed the same, though. But yeah, I'm just really ready to get rolling at this point. Like, I'm counting hours and minutes at this point. Like, I don't even want to look at days and calendars no more.
That's how you know somebody's ready when they start counting hours and minutes. Forget the days. That's how you know that man is ready. Everybody else may not be, but that man is ready.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Understatement.
So, Mike, you've been around a little bit. You mentioned. So, I just wanted to ask you this question. So, as far as the level of talent in the league, have you seen that continue to improve as some teams come, some teams go, but have you kind of felt like the level of talent overall in the league has improved?
I will say it goes up and down just for the simple fact that with arena football being a growing sport, you can be sitting in somebody's practice on Tuesday and you could be elevated to AF1 by Wednesday, and then you could be playing a game in IFL by Saturday. Like the landscape changes so much that it's never like I never say it got to a scrub level. But there are points where it gets easier, but there are points where it's just like, what is this man doing here? He's not supposed to be at this level, So it's really just rotating. It hasn't really gotten, terrible, but it hasn't. But there was a point where there was only 2 leagues, and it was hard to even, as a receiver, you had to work for even getting a release off the ball at one point, But I think the talent is really, especially now that we've expanded into so many divisions now, I think it's really grown to the point of where, it's everywhere now. And it's obviously more opportunity. So it's more players. So I think there's more talent out there that we still haven't even seen yet. But the biggest thing is that, it's just more players being, shown. So it hasn't really dipped. It's just expanded. To just in my personal opinion.
Makes sense. It makes sense. For those who may be catching this that may not be familiar with AL2 and what Mike is talking about, what he's referring to is the fact that this is, you kind of want to look at it like a AAA baseball league, right? For football. It's an opportunity for guys to get in, be seen, and go and play for teams in other arena leagues. So this is kind of like that stepping stone for people to get other opportunities. And we're talking about coaches, we're talking about players, anyone that's a part of the organization, maybe even, owners, right? Because if I remember correctly, there's a team that moved from last year. So, you have those things in place. So it's one of those things where it's a great opportunity for you to see guys at ground zero. Right, where there's that starting point, and not saying that they haven't played before, but kind of seeing where, okay, they're at that league of development and they're looking to develop themselves and move up and put themselves in position to go other places, but at the same time, they're here. Now, I'm gonna just go with Coach Glenn. So, Coach Glenn, I've talked to Commissioner, right? I've talked to the Predators coach as well and owner. So I'm sure you share the same sentiment that this is a place where you want guys to come in, you want them to learn, and you're happy and celebrating them when they are able to go off to other places and have success. And maybe they end up coming back, maybe they don't, but you at least have that camaraderie, you have that time with them, you have that time to develop them. I know you're not on the field, but I'm sure you're very familiar with your product and what you're about to put on the field. So from your perspective, how does that kind of go for the Tri-City Rivergators?
So it's strange, right? So we're in an industry right now where it's peaking. Everything's peaking around this spectator sport. So the way I look at things is like, we need to get these guys in front of more eyes, because the eyes are there they're looking, they're hungry to look for what's going on in the league, right? And I see a lot of, the industry is changing a lot. You got guys that's, getting NIL deals. You got guys that getting sponsorship deals. You got guys that's, they're getting seen for commercials in Facebook, for Instagram, ads. This stuff is adding up pretty fast, right? So the way I look at it, with the league is exactly what's needed for these guys that need a second or third chance to display what they have. Because you go, man, I'm telling you, you go see some guys, you're gonna be like, why is he here? It's going to surprise you. And to maybe no justice been for them. You know what I'm saying? In their time and being on the field and being off the field and being hurt. So, everybody deserves that chance, at some point in their life to be like, hey, this is a good organization, this is a good league, I can get seen. It's big enough for me to even, let's say a player come from uh Tri-City and he goes up to the Bearcats, I know he going to a good organization. It might be a team, some teams up there that's looking at him, and he goes there to the New York Smash. So, you know, we all got the same mindset. Everybody in this league to get it to that level to where this is like the minor league of indoor football. So guys make that next step. It's going to the pros. It's getting seen. Is you got your marketing, your name behind you. Everything that is moving. It's not just damn. I'm just gonna play this season and see what happened and throw my film out and see if it stick. Yeah, them days over with, man. It's time to really try to get these guys to the next level.
For sure.
Right. All right, so Mike, I'm gonna jump back over to you for a minute as the player, sir. So, do you feel like? Well, let me ask it this way: how do you feel about keeping yourself motivated when you're here? Multiple seasons. Maybe you're seeing other guys go, and you're like, "Hey, I feel like I'm just as good as that guy," right? And they may have had that opportunity. Maybe your time hasn't come as of yet. How do you keep yourself motivated? And how do you help motivate others when you have that situation, going on around you?
Definitely just arena football alone.
Hmm.
I've been sent up and dropped back down to sent up and drop back down to sent up and drop back down entire career. I want to say I've only had 2 full seasons or 3 full seasons where I've stayed on one team the entire year.
Okay.
So it's been a carousel the whole year for me. And I know everybody's going to be different, but I know personally my motivation is, just proof. Every day you got to, like every single rep, whatever breath I have in my body, I'm just showing that I'm worth it every single time, no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm playing against. And I know personally, you know, it's about picking battles to me because I know every single rep, every single game, it's an individual battle that I'm fighting.
Hmm.
And I do my best to make sure whoever's with me is going to fight that same, not necessarily fight that same fight, but have that same level of fight with me. I know I've been on other teams where I have struggled because, I've been surrounded by guys who play the game for the wrong reasons, who aren't as hungry as me, who, the coach says, hey, we got to be here at 5. They show up at 5:15. I'm not built like that. So I show up angry. I show up motivated, and I still have way too much left in my body to be half stepping and not giving my all every single time. So I know me personally, I just show what the thing that motivates me is mostly, I guess you could say, the growth because, you know, I do want to. Every day I want to grow, whether I grow to be the best player in this league or the best player in the next league. But at the same time, it's always going to be whoever's in front of me. I need to be better than whoever it is, whatever they're doing. But that goes back to my upbringing, my fight, my high school days in Durham, North Carolina, at Hillside, my North Carolina A&T State University days. Like it's always been a fight, and I just have never lost that. Like it's not really something that I can even really explain. It's just something that's in me, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a fellow Aggie as well, so I get it.
Aggie pride.
Yes, sir. Aggie pride. Yes, sir. All right, so Coach Glenn,
Yes, sir.
you're in a different league last year. So, what was the piece that motivated you to say, you know what, I want to take this team and I want to move them to AAL2, and I think this is going to be a better situation and a better move for my organization.
Um, the guys. After the debacle there, because you gotta just take your punches. You gotta take your L's. You gotta learn from them. You gotta understand. It's a lot of guys been in this league, for a long time. And they still taking L's too, right? And it's just how you learn from them and what you do after. So the guys motivated me a lot. The ones that I recruited, they looked at it like, hey, keep your head up. I wasn't expecting that, And I'm 35 years old. Most of me and these guys real close in age. So we see each other on a different level. So I can feed off of them, and they can feed off of me. And we can understand like, hey, bro, we all been in that same boat. We all been took that L. We all done been there. So hey, keep fighting. And here we are today. You know what I'm saying? And we finna get ready to start this season. And we get everything rolling. It's on all cylinders. And yeah, we, I ain't saying we finna just, run the table. We got some real good competition in this league. You know what I'm saying? And in our division. But yeah, we coming.
Is the place, right? I've kind of been told like the South. This is the one that's going to be interesting. So I'm excited to see what everybody brings and how everybody progresses throughout the season. So gentlemen, I appreciate your time greatly. It's wonderful having you guys on and allowing everybody to kind of get a little bit of the Tri-City Rivergators.
Yes,
So
sir.
any last words from you two gentlemen, and would you like to let the people know where they can find the organization, where they can find you, any other information?
Yes, sir. We playing in Madison, Alabama at the Now Soccer Academy facility. It's off of Westchester. Um, so yeah, you could just look it up. It'll be on our page. We'll have our QR codes thrown up on our Facebooks and our Instagram. It's everything Tri City Rivergators. Um, and for the most part, everybody that's on this call, everybody that's, in this league and around us, you know what I'm saying? We blessed. We got an opportunity. Let's make the most of it every single day. You know, let's not be enemies, but let's be each other brothers. You know what I'm saying? Brothers fight, brothers, tussle, brothers talk crap. You know what I mean? But all in all, we got the same goal for each and one of these guys. That's fathers, that's cousins, that's somebody's son, you know, somebody husband, brother. Let's do good by these men. Let's have a good season, and let's get out there and chase after that championship.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Any last words, Mike?
Oh, all platforms, Real Mike Lee, Facebook, F Mike Lee Senior. And as far as everybody else in the league goes, show me what you got. Hit me before I hit you.
Hey, there you go. That sounds not too much more that needs to be said there, ladies and gentlemen. That was
Yes,
your
sir.
introduction to your Tri-City Rivergators. Apparently, we're gonna be hearing a lot from them, and apparently, y'all better be ready for Mike Lee Senior
Yes, sir.
from his mouth, not mine, from his mouth.
Gator mode.
Gator mode.
All
Yes,
right, gentlemen, a pleasure. Appreciate y'all hopping on.
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right, so we're making the transition over to a team that I may know a little bit about, the Carolina Predators. So we've got here one of the players. I'm gonna allow him to introduce himself, and then I believe we do have the owner on as well, and you will be able to see him here in a moment. So Lamonte, feel free to let the people know a little bit about you, sir.
Yeah, my name Lamontay Carr from Charlotte, North Carolina. Born and raised. Um, I finished college. I graduated college from Livingstone. I played there for like 4 years. Went to UNC Charlotte prior to um, business owner, my father. So yeah, and I played for the Predators. So yeah, that's pretty much about it.
There we go. I myself live in Charlotte, so I'm familiar with the places that you are naming, sir.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, and then we also have the owner and one of the coaches. Double duty. Coach
You
Byrd,
know
what's
it.
going on, man?
Not much, boss man. How you?
I can't complain, man. I can't complain. I'm getting to sit up here and talk football and talk about a league that has a lot of promise, and now people gonna hear more about. So hey, can't be better for me.
No, that's right.
But coach, let the people know. They probably already know, but let the people know a little bit. Introduce yourself, sir.
Ralph Byrd, owner, offensive coordinator, Carolina Predators. Play out in Wake Forest, North Carolina at House of Sports, North Carolina. From the South Carolina area. Pretty much raised in South Carolina. From Chicago. So like I know Mike Lee. I know a lot of these guys that you would talk to today. Just from the sport. I say the team started in 2018 and we've been going ever since, even through COVID. I think we was one of 4 or 5 teams that did play games during COVID. So we have guys who has moved up all types of levels. IFL, NAL. We got a couple we got one in Germany. We had a couple go down to the LFA in Mexico. And one is actually playing with the Carolina Cobras now. So that's about it.
Making a lot of moves with the Predators as well, and that's one of the things that you'll hear throughout this and every week. You'll hear about how you have these owners, these coaches, right? These players, and they're learning and they're getting opportunities and they're moving, right? They're being groomed for moving. The anticipation is moving, right? Some guys may not move as quickly as others, but that's the goal. Give them everything they need to have those opportunities so they're ready for those opportunities when they come. And that's every team in this league. So you'll be hearing about that a lot, and you'll be hearing these owners and coaches give you that background information as you're being introduced to them. All right, so Lamontay, just so the people know, let the people know what is your position on the Predators.
Yeah, I'm the quarterback for the Predators. I've been playing, like I said, before I've been playing quarterback since I was 12 years old. Played
Mm-hmm.
through Little League, high school, college, and now, I did a year of semi-pro, and now I'm playing quarterback with the Predators. So
Yep.
I'm excited.
So Lamontay, I know we've talked before, so I'm trying to make sure I don't ask you the same questions because nobody wants
Yeah.
to the same questions again. But as you're, there with the Predators, as you're, learning, developing everything, understand in this quarterback room, I can't speak for others because I haven't asked them, but I understand this quarterback room is a lot of support. So if you're in that quarterback room, you're part of the quarterback team and everybody's trying to get better. So in that, do you feel like there's been a lot of opportunity for you to improve just from being there, being around other guys who've been doing it and being in this particular organization?
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing a great job with bringing me in and teaching me because indoor football is a transition going
Right.
from outdoor to indoor. So yeah, coach them and the quarterback prior to they been really helping me understand the different plays and concepts and how different things open up and you gotta be quicker with your reads. Just everything overall. It just helping me transition and understand the game or arena indoor football. So yeah, it's been definitely a lot of opportunities and growth in there.
Okay. So Coach Byrd, this one's gonna be for you. So when you're looking at an athlete, and they're saying, "Hey, you got this tape, however you got it, whether someone sent it to you, whether the person sent it to you, whether you happen to come across it, what exactly is it that you're looking for in what you see in that tape when you're making a decision to maybe bring a guy in and say, we'll try him out and see if maybe he's somebody that'll fit with the Carolina Predators?"
We just don't look at tape to see if we gonna fit. Like
Okay.
it's gonna be a face to face conversation. So when we talk to you, we're gonna see everything you got. So it's more of a connection. It's more of do we see a drive in you that wants to be here, that wants to be in this game? Because you have a lot of guys who have great film,
Mm-hmm.
but don't have that drive to do any more than be there. And in this game, it's more of we want guys who want to move somewhere, who's trying to do big and better things with their life on the football field. So that's where we decide we're gonna bring in or not. It's after we have that. It might be face to face. It might be Facebook Messenger. but we're gonna look at each other in the eyes when we talk before we say yay or nay and bring you on. All about the character of that person.
Okay, definitely, I can definitely rock with that. So Lamonte, I know you learn a lot here in indoor football about the game and how the game is different and those things. But outside of the football piece, what are you learning about being that professional, how to handle things if they necessarily don't go your way in certain situations, and how to groom yourself so that if those opportunities do come, you're ready to jump on those opportunities.
Yeah, I kind of pick back to what Coach said. Like it's 100% what he just said. Pretty much what he looking at when he bringing in guys, because when it changes from like I done been through all phases of football, so I see it change. So I done
Mm-hmm.
seen like me go from getting recruited from high school. It's all about tape. And then when you start to like grow, I see people leave the game, they quit, they try to come back, whatever the case may be. So when you start to get to adult football, it's like, your tape is cool, but do you still want it? You know what I'm saying? Do you still wanna play? So like as I'm starting to grow and do my own journeys like throughout life, figuring this stuff out, because I got a degree, so I'm still outside of football. I still have to like feed my family. So I just try to keep everything balanced, keep everything in order, stay out of trouble and just keep a level head and like, still ball, still stay focused, hit the gym, do what I already do on that side, but also like make sure that I'm doing what I need to do as far as my career wise, because football definitely not promised, especially once you get to this point in your life, it's like, it's slim to none, be real, slim to none. But I'm still here, I'm still gonna play because I made a promise to a kid, when I was 12 years old, like I said, though, we're gonna finish what we started. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, okay. So, Coach, this one's for you. So you're in this division, and from everything, what I'm hearing is the South is the spot. That's where it's going to be competitive. Not saying that other divisions don't have competitive teams, but that the South has a strong group of four teams that are all competitive. So when you're looking at that, when you're focusing on game planning, you're focusing on preparing for, your first preseason game, all those type of things. What is that focus on detail like? Because you know that hey, we're already in a division that's going to be difficult to win on paper. Obviously, we haven't started the season yet, but on paper and on the talent that's there, it's going to be a very difficult division. So, is that attention to detail? How are you guys handling that and making sure that everybody on the Predators is ready from as quick as from day one as much as they can be, if their number's called?
Like I said, our attention is on us.
Yeah.
We know the South is gonna be a tough division, but
Mhm.
as we all say before we leave practice, only team that can beat a Predator is a Predator. So if we go and play Predator ball, it is what it is. If we play our ball, I don't see nobody beating us.
Okay.
If we get back into the going back and forth and the wanna loud talk, that's not Predator ball. So yeah, we can take an L or two here and there. But when it's all said and done, if Predators play Predator ball, yeah, I don't see nobody can beat us.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, last thing would be: is there any last words for either one of you gentlemen would like to have? And also, again, for this audience that we'll have watching, just let them know where they can find you guys at.
On me, you can find me Ralph Byrd Jr. on Facebook. Also the team Carolina Predator Arena, Facebook, Instagram. You can go to the website, gocarolinapredators.com to keep up to date. You can go check out our Lady Predators dance team. They'll be coming this year also on Facebook. Instagram will be coming soon. Um, other than that, like I say, we looking forward to a great competitive year in the South Division of the AL2. It's gonna be a knockout drag out to the end until one of us make that championship game, and then whoever from the South make it, like we're always gonna pull for the South. So if we don't make it, whoever's there, we're gonna be there supporting them also. But I think we just ready to get going. So right now we're on game prep right now, so it is what it is.
And that's the right kind of brotherhood right there. That's two owners that told y'all, hey, we do our own things, but we support each other. Love it. Lamonte.
Oh yeah, man. Just let's ball out. That's it. So I got.
All right. And where can everyone find you at?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram. Stay low _ Mike. Find me on Facebook. Mike. I'm also on YouTube. Stay low Mike. Stay low Mike football. So yeah, I can find me on those different platforms. Oh yeah, and on X, Twitter. Same thing. Stay low.
All right. And hey, these two of your members of the Carolina Predators, you got your owner, you got one of your QBs on here. They're gonna be ready. They're gonna be bringing this season, just like the rest of the teams are as well. Hope the Predators are there at the end. I'd love to see what they can do. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and make this move, guys. Appreciate y'all coming on, and we're gonna go ahead and get the next guys up here so we can learn about somebody else. And we are back in the building. So I see somebody ain't playing.
Hey, it's time to play ball, baby.
Somebody
It's
is
time
not
to play
playing.
ball. It's time to play ball, man. It's time to play ball, man.
I love it, man. I love it. That's different. I'll give you that. All right. So hey, as I always say, man, best person to introduce you is you. So we'll start with my gentleman Andre here, who we know is ready. Just let the people know about you, Andre.
How y'all doing, man? I'm Andre. I'm from Athens, Georgia. I played at Winterberry High School. I played college ball at Reinhardt University. I've been in semi-pro for the past 2 to 3 years. Me and Coach Lenny hooked up, and I ain't never left him since.
Love it, love it. What position are you, Andre?
I play Mac linebacker and I play running back.
Ooh, it's an interesting combination. I like it. Coach,
Yes,
let the
sir.
people know about you.
Oh yeah, I'm Leonard Duce Holmes. That's what they call me. The players call me Lenny, so I'm okay with that. Well, I live out here in Sonora, Georgia, where they made The Walking Dead. I know everybody's familiar with The Walking Dead. I'm like 5 minutes from that, so that tell you where I'm at. But originally from Detroit. Not too far from Coach Ralph. So we, up north boys, but from Detroit. Came here in 03. And it was a different transition for me coming here, but I love it here, not going back. And ready to get this thing going with this arena. It's new. Actually, I'm not new to it, but a lot of the guys that's a part of the family is new to it. So we that's pretty much where we at right now.
All right, Coach. So piggybacking off of that, two questions for you. I just asked you two in one. So how long have you and your team been part of the AAL2, and also over that time, because clearly you're not new to this.
Right.
Have you seen like expensive growth? Have you seen a quality of play, improve over that time frame?
Well, we actually started off in the GIFL, the
Okay.
Great Football League, and so it was a developmental league. Actually, we had a lot of players from that league that went to the AIF. Some players did get some good looks with a couple of them NAL teams and things of that nature. But we going into our second year right now.
Okay.
We just finished up in the GIFL. We actually lost a championship game there. And So it's giving us something to build off of.
Mhm.
Learn more. Um, this our first year. This is going to be our first year in the AAL2. So actually, I coached in the AAL2 last season with Peach State Cats, and so I got really familiarized with the teams, the commissioner AJ and Sanders. I got familiarized with where they trying to take this this league to, and how we rise. And so I wanted to be a part of something special, something that was growing, and it's growing pretty quick. So me and my wife, we talked about it. I talked to some more coaches, and we decided to give it a shot. I love everything about it, what's going on, and we just looking forward to competing.
Okay. I like it. I like it. So Andre, I can tell right away when you came on the screen that you have energy. You're a leader on the team, right?
Yes,
Just
sir. Yes, sir.
so how have you developed that, over time? Obviously, certain things you're born with, but certain things you kind of develop over time or increase over time. So how have you been able to do that in the arena league setting?
Really, just like Leonard said, I'm in the same thing as him. You know what I'm saying? I've been in this for 2 years, and I done played with the 29ers a year ago. I played with James Moreland and the Peach State Cats last year also. So these past 2 years I done learned so much. But the biggest thing that I've learned overall is it's the way you talk to people. It's not, the type of deal of it's not what you say, is how you say it type of deal. Realizing that everybody is trying to do the same thing, but it's up to you on how you're going to end your story.
Okay, I like that. I definitely dig that. So I know you told me you play linebacker and you also play running back.
Yes, sir.
So that means you get to run over people and you get to hit people.
Yes, sir.
Which one do you enjoy the most?
Hitting people.
Okay. So as that linebacker, we'll talk about that since you like hitting people more. How important is it to figure out like the little nuances on the offensive linemen so you can try to get that half a second, that quarter of a second,
Mhm.
kind of figure out if maybe they're gonna lean to the right a little bit, if they breeze their knuckles on the ground when they get ready to be a run player, or if they lean back if it's the pass. How important is it to just make sure that those small things you're paying attention to kind of help yourself get that little bit of an edge if it's possible?
It's very important, and I say it's important because it shows. You know what I'm saying? It tells on a lot of teams on based off what their lineman does. If I see that they lineman being lazy, I obviously know that it's going to be a pass play because you can't run the ball with lazy linemen. That's just how that works. Um, Mostly watching film and you know what I'm saying, being on one accord with your team is the biggest thing.
Okay. So, coach, I know you've been in the league before, but this will be your first year, with this team and kind of being calling the shots, right? So, or all the shots, let's say. So, how has that previous experience kind of helped you be prepared because you already kind of have an idea of how this particular level is, what's needed to be successful, and how to make that kind of happen?
One thing, one thing I have learned is as a coach and as an owner is uh, you never take things for granted, and you always learn. It's funny because I learned so much from these players, you
Right.
know, coaches, because I have played arena football for years. I played in the first IFL when it first started, and so the knowledge of the game, um, I actually bring that to the team and implement a lot of information to these guys. And these players is just we have a veteran team. I have to
Hmm.
tell you, we do have some guys that played in the AL2 last season, which is great because they understand
Right.
the rules, how very competitive it is. And again, for me and my coaches, just learning a lot from these players And another important thing that I did want to say was you know, as a coach, and I learned this from my father years ago, you can't coach players, and I learned it so correct. You can't coach players based off of how you played. You
Right.
know, different. I was a different animal when I played. I played running back, and I think that's why me and Andre clicked so much because I played running back and linebacker. So
Right.
I understand his concept, where his focus is, and I try to work with these players individually, mentally,
Mm-hmm.
definitely make sure they're physically, you know, and also having that faith and that belief, you know what I'm saying? Because like I tell them, without God would none of this be possible. So I try to implement that in our program, our organization, and you know, we just ready to rise to the occasion. You know, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for us, um, and you know, I think we ready.
I like to hear it, man. I love to hear it. So, Andre, if okay, there we go. So, Andre, as someone who plays linebacker and running back, is it a different set of like, training, thought process, all those things that you need to do for preparing yourself for linebacker versus preparing yourself to be a running back?
Um, honestly, to me, no.
Okay.
Because as a, you know what I'm saying, as a linebacker, I got this A gap. I got both A gaps. As a running back, I'm either finna run through this A gap or, you know what I'm saying, I'm stretching it out outside. So it's really not, because I'm really doing the same thing on both sides. It's just either I got the ball or I'm tackling a guy with the ball.
Okay. All right. Now, when you're on the field, when you're either the linebacker, you're either the running back, the preparation that it takes, the motivation and stuff, like I said, can tell just by the conversation that you're a leader. So, do you feel like you're able to, on both sides, kind of be that guy and be like, look, man, we need to pick it up. You know, things not going like they need to, but hey, we're not gonna worry about it. We're just gonna change it. And on the defense, hey, we got to hit harder. We got to try to pop a turnover. We might need to help the team. Are you able to kind of blend both of those on either side of the ball as well?
Yes, sir. Coach Lenny will tell you I'm very vocal. I'm very vocal. I'm very down to earth, and I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm not gonna be disrespectful. That's why I say it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
So, I'm not afraid to of being a leader and doing what a leader does, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to be that, especially if you put in that position.
Okay. Okay. So, coach, we know you got the players for a certain amount of time, but they also have their own time, right? So, have you found that it's been a little bit of challenging or not that challenging to ensure that guys are doing what they need to do, even if they may not be with the team at that moment or for that time frame? Are you still getting guys that are just saying, "Hey, I'm getting it all the time," or some guys are kind of like, I mean, you got to keep an eye on these particular guys.
You know what? We try our best as a staff to keep our players together.
Mhm.
Like Andre said, you know, we have quite a few leaders on the team, you know, that also try to help these players understand that you have to work out. You know, it's not one of them programs where we get paid and we can afford to practice three, you know,
Right.
maybe two out the week. So right now we going once a week, but we put so much time into it. So we do workouts. The players post their workouts. And they very good with motivating each other, getting on other players if they're not doing anything. And then again, we still have players that have families. You
Right.
know, the generation have changed, you know, it and changed a lot. You know, we have a lot of young fathers, you know,
Yeah.
but still want to pursue their career. You know, they still have goals, but they have families as well.
Right.
So it's kind of it's one of them situations. You know, if you know the time and effort, and I tell these guys, it's you investing in yourself. You know, what you do is going to dictate how far you want to go and how much you put into that time. So they understand that. They understand that clearly, They do understand that clearly, and like I said, we have some young guys on the team that's excited, that's still learning. Um, but outside of that, I think that overall these guys is prepared. They've been, a lot of these guys work out on their own. I love it. I love the energy that they have. But we still got a few guys and I hope they watching this. Still got some guys out there on the team that that need to put more effort into it, because it shows in practice.
Yeah.
You know.
Everything will show up on your practice. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
No way to hide that. So, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. 3 teams, 3 owners who are telling you the same thing, telling you it's all about development. It's all about what you personally want and what they can bring in to help you. 3 players, all great energy, all guys, very different personality wise, but all guys that seem to be guys that those owners wanted y'all to meet first for a reason. So, last thing for you 2 gentlemen, where can the people find you, and any other thoughts you want to throw out to everybody before we go ahead and move on here?
Andre Jackson on Facebook, on Instagram, Agent Baki _0. I'm number 0. Far as anything else that I need to be said is the South is coming. And I'm not just gonna say the Indians. I'm not just gonna say, because again, no matter if who goes from the South, we still gonna pull for the South. But I just want everybody to know that the South is coming. The South is moving in silence, silent assassins, and we ready to play ball.
There you go.
That's right. That's Andre for you right there. Boy. Yeah, but so yeah, you can everybody can catch me, of course. Leonard Holmes on Facebook. Also the Georgia Indians on Facebook, and then we also have Georgia Indians on our Instagram. So we I think we advertise and promote a lot on social media. We out there a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because we getting it out there. We want the nation to know, and the arena league to know, these are the new kids on the block. You know what I'm saying? And we trying to get to the top, and that comes with a lot of desire, a lot of faith, and just believing in your product. And also one more thing I do, I appreciate the South organizations. It's gonna be a battle, but that's what it's all about. That's what everybody want to see. So I know we're gonna do it accordingly, definitely professionally, because we want everybody to know the AL2 is about that, and we coming, and we growing, we continue to grow. But I can't wait. I'm excited. Can't wait to meet see these other teams, and ready to go in action with them.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Georgia Indians, another team in that powerful South Division. Everybody's saying the South is to watch, and hey, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. So, hey, we're gonna transition over. Got one more team here to talk a little bit about. But gentlemen, thank you guys for coming on. Thanks for your time, and look forward to seeing how y'all rocking this season.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
No problem. No problem.
On his own.
So we are back in the building. We got somebody else here to introduce the good people to, because we got another team to talk about. So, good sir, I'm gonna let you have the floor. Let the people know who you are and what team you represent.
My name Kenoda Lewis. I play for the Mississippi Wolfpack. I'm the quarterback, and it's my first year playing, and we
Okay.
just ready to get after.
All right. So, being that you're brand new, how is the transition to playing and just getting used to being in AAL2?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still football. It's just a little bit quicker. It feels a little smaller and stuff like that. But for the most part, like my teammates, they helping me get everything down that I need to get down. So, I mean, I feel good. I feel good about our team, so I'm just ready to show.
Okay. So since we just got you, we don't have the owner. Things happen. It's kind of difficult sometimes to get everything to link up, especially with technology. Talk to us a little bit about the offense, right? What do you guys
Mm.
have going on offensively? How comfortable do you feel with the offense? How comfortable do you feel in the offense?
Like I said, like right now, like with
Mm-hmm.
what I seen when I got with the guys Saturday, like I like it. I like what I see. Like we looking real good. Like we still got stuff we can improve on, like offensive line wise and stuff like that. Cause we got players that ain't came in yet. But as of right now, like skill positions and all that, we look real good. Like I'm telling you, like we look real good.
Okay. But that line, obviously, guys get there. You get stuff
Yeah, yeah.
together. Definitely want to have that line together because, you know, a lot of these teams they
Oh yeah,
come
it's
in
getting there.
everybody
It's
from the
just
rip.
like we got a few players that ain't came in from just ain't came in yet.
Yeah,
But
from other they may be having other commitments and just hadn't had a chance to get there yet. But yeah,
mm,
sounds like you're heading in the right direction. So, everyone's been talking all night about the camaraderie between the teams as well as how difficult they think this division is going to be. So, from your perspective, somebody coming in new, how do you feel about what you've been seeing, what you've heard so far about the expectations on how the league is going to be, for this upcoming season?
I mean, I kind of just feel like it's gonna be a dog fight. Like I said, I'm new to it, but at
Yeah,
the end of the day, it's still football. So like, I know what's going on. I know about football. So like, I know what's going on. So
yeah,
and I really don't feel like I don't see nobody. I don't see nobody stopping us if we play how we play. I don't see it. I don't see it because we got a lot of talent. We got a lot of people like that still really want to play football. So
hmm So I know one of the things that is also kind of league wide is you're gonna have a lot of times where you may have guys you start the season with, and you may be one of those guys. And then at the end of the season, maybe those guys have moved to other, teams of the leagues, so
mm,
they may not be there. So do you feel like depth wise, and I don't want to ask everybody this question because then it kind of gets redundant, but do you feel like depth wise your team is prepared to Mississippi Wolfpack? They're prepared if we lose some of these guys, we've got some other dogs right behind them that can step in and maybe not be quite as successful because there's a reason one guy may be playing more over another guy, but still have enough that they can, step in and kind of help your team stay at that same level.
right. I mean, for sure. Like I said, we got a lot of players that ain't just well, not a lot, but we still got like a few key players like that we missing. So when
Hmm.
somebody go down, we still got somebody else coming. Like, cause like I said, everybody hungry. We ready to play football.
Right. And the good thing about maybe not having everybody is other guys get a lot of reps. So that
Right.
way, they've got the reps. So if something were to happen with some of those guys that may not be there yet, and they end up not coming for whatever reason, or they end up not being prepared or not being able to play, or get moved somewhere else. You have
Mhm.
guys that kind of gotten that experience already. So, coaching staff wise, talk to me about your perception of how the coaching staff is coaching you guys, right? Or do you feel like you're getting what you need? Is there multiple
I
places that are just kind of hitting you up, and everybody
honestly,
trying to?
honestly, I feel like we got everything we need. Like we got legends as our coaches. Like we
Okay.
got people that did it. So like they putting
Mhm.
us in the right position to go and do it. So like our head coach Eddie Strong, he played like we got Pokey, he played at Mississippi State. We got B Mac, like we got a few coaches. We got like from he played on the Texans.
Okay.
So like we got coaches that's helping us do what we need to do. So it's just up to us to execute.
Okay, dig it, dig it, dig it. It's always great to me, and I love that everybody has the opportunity to kind of just play and learn, right? A lot of the guys from a lot of the teams have some experience playing football, which I think does lead to a lot of be very beneficial. And different levels, right? Everybody doesn't play on the same level, they have the same
Right.
experience, but a lot of guys that have played, the sport and understand the sport at a deeper level than just a casual person, being in, positions of coach and things like that, ownership, you know, I think that makes the league better, especially when it's a league where you're developing guys, right? And
Mm.
that's the thing here. Everyone's here to develop, whether you've been here a year, 5 years, whatever, you're here to develop so that you can have other opportunities. I asked everybody this question though. Professionalism. Do you feel like this is something that um, you've been able to get a lot of help with in Mississippi with just learning how to be the professional side of football as well as the player, how to deal with, possible
Yeah.
media, you know, call ups and all the things that go along with that.
Yes, sir. Because like I said, I played at South Panola, so like all our
Mhm.
games, we had big games. So like we
Right.
never just, it's just something we used to down here. Like, and where we from, football, big deal, and our people, we love football, and a lot of people support. So it always helps.
Okay. 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 I know you said that you feel like if you guys play your Mississippi Wolfpack style of football, that there's nobody that can really hang with you. But I will ask you this question. So, if for some reason it's not Mississippi Wolfpack that had an opportunity to go and play in a championship game, will y'all be supporting the team from the South that makes it there?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like at the end of the day, like we still family, but like while we on the
Mm-hmm.
field, like we battling, so we be family after the game. But at the end of the day, we all come from the South, so like they all say, we just gotta put on for the South.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And guys that are watching, I want y'all to understand you've listened to four players and you've listened to three owners talk so far. And what you've heard is we all brothers. I'm not saying, you're gonna have little, misunderstandings from time to time, but you have that sense of brotherhood here. You had a sense of we're all attempting to make it, we're all attempting to get better, we're all attempting to advance. So you're not gonna have a lot of these things happen that you may have in other situations, right? You're looking at guys who want to be professionals, not guys who want to be on tape, arguing and fighting with each other, and yelling and cursing and doing all those things because those are not things that are going to help you improve and get to the next level. And
Right.
these are guys that understand these things already, which means these things have been instilled in them from prior opportunities, as well as being here in the coaching staffs that they have in place across the South Division. I can't talk about everybody else yet, but I can't talk about the South Division so far. So the South Division seems to have guys who we want to represent for our individual team, and we feel like we're the guys. But if for some reason we're not, we're going to support our brothers from the South because it's all about the South.
Right.
And I love to hear that because that shows a lot of just camaraderie outside of the team. But then you have owners and coaches who respect each other, so they're saying, "Hey, you know, we're gonna show everybody some love here. We here to play. We here to develop. We also here to show y'all the professionalism and how you deal with other teams, how you deal with wins, how you deal with losses, all those things that happen in the course of a football season." So Kenoda, as a newer guy in the league, and as a quarterback, do you feel that the defense, and obviously the most defense that you're going to have experience with at this point is your own defense, do you
Mhm.
feel like the defense that you've had to play against, maybe you've had scrimmages against other teams, or maybe not yet, but do you feel like the defenses that you've played against have helped you like understand, okay, these are some things that I'm not going to be able to do. Maybe I want to fit that ball in that little window.
Mhm.
It was there when I was playing college, but even though I'm playing semi-pro now, the window's not there. Or there's a certain way I need to throw that ball, certain way I need to look away and then look back or whatever I want to do to get, my plays off. Have you kind of start feeling and seeing some of that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For sure. I know. We was in practice the other day, and some I normally do, like I took a little too much time. Like I said, like it all speeds up and stuff like that. So you got to know like what your read is and all that, like right off. So if you going just got to know what you're gonna do. Now, like the defense, they helping me with it. Like they helping me a whole lot. Like they making it easy for me. Like so.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good, man. Well, I greatly appreciate you hopping on. As I said for everybody else, this is a team to watch during the season. Good luck, definitely. Hope we see some great things from you guys. Hope to see some great things from the division as a whole. And is there any other bits of information you'd like to share with the people? And also with that, anywhere that you would like to have them know where they can find you or where they can find the Mississippi Wolfpack information.
Currently right now, I'm not doing the social media thing. It's a little messy for me, and I'm trying to
Ain't
lock
nothing wrong
in
with
on
it.
this. And I'm trying to lock in on this football. So, but you can find the Mississippi Wolfpack team on Facebook. I think it's Mississippi Wolfpack, and you can find our head coach on there, Eddie Strong. He do a lot of the promoting on his page and stuff too. So,
Fair enough, man. Well, again, appreciate you hopping on. Great to hear from you. Excited to see what you do in the league specifically, as well as what the team does.
yes,
So
sir.
we'll be checking in on you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
No problem, man. Have a good night. All right. So we in the building, and we've talked to players and coaches from all of players and owners, most of my coaches as well, from the Southern Division, AAL2 teams. So now we have to end the show with only one man. It is the commissioner himself. Commish, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? Glad to be here as usual.
Yes, sir. Living the life.
Week two.
Yeah.
Week 2 at AL2 Turf Talk.
Yeah, man. We got a chance to talk to the Southern Division teams, learn a little bit about those guys. What I'm gonna say, I think it is, but one of the things that and we talked about this on the first episode, so I'm not surprised I'm hearing this from them. One of the things is the discussions and understand, like, hey, we want to breed guys that are professionals, guys that want to work, guys that want to improve. And they have all these teams have these guys that played, football as you did. So they have guys that can kind of connect on a different level. You got different age groups. You got one of the owners, he's close to the age of the actual players, so they can have a different connection. But then you got owners like Coach Holmes, Coach Byrd. Those guys love them. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of guys, I feel like, from the outside looking in, of course, that seem to really like the vibe from the league, having the opportunity to play in the league and being on these teams. And they even respect not only the owners that they play for, the coaches they play for, but even the other ones. And that says a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes, you got to get a lot of, oh, that's not my team, so forget those guys. It happens a lot. But yeah, as they were all saying that no matter who comes out the South, everybody's going to represent, the South Division. That's awesome. And hopefully a lot of those guys, will be there when our All-Star game happens.
Makes sense. What I love, man, is just the vibe, right? So I don't know if it comes across like on camera, right, being recorded, but just the vibe. I was shocked when all these guys like, yeah, I think my team is nobody's gonna beat my team, but hey, if it's not us, rocking with whoever it is from the South. That kind of surprised me a little bit, because not necessarily that anybody would like, hey, I'll support whoever, but just that camaraderie and kind of hearing it from everybody. There wasn't one person's like, well, I wouldn't mind if it's somebody else, not me, but everybody was just like, hey, it's a brotherhood. We're on the field. We want to destroy you. We want to beat you down. But then after the game, we're going to pick you up after we beat you down, and we're going to enjoy, what I'm saying, a little brotherly fellowship. So that's great, man. That's great. That's really great.
And it is, because like I said before, most people don't care about the next team. They don't want to see them do good, people in the same division, because they want to fight, to win, to be where maybe that team is going for the championship, Yep. But like they all said, they all want to root for each other, man. That you can't ask for anything better than that.
Absolutely. And we got some first-time teams in the AAL too as well, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, but just listening to them talk, says, it's just football. It's a little different than just football. Because the game is faster. It's all about angles, and so it's football, but it's a little different kind of football. Certain positions it's the same, but skill guys a little different. But again, that's why we're here to learn and teach these guys, how to play arena football.
Yep. And that's big on the I was thinking, like, when some of the guys were saying, like, it's football. I'm like, they're gonna learn.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what they're here for. Like you said, a lot of excitement, man. A lot of guys have positive attitudes, really seeming like their teams, love being around the guys on their teams, and I know we've got some other divisions as well. So I'm interested to see how the other divisions stack up, because hey, the South is
it is. I called it. I'm saying it too. I'm watching for sure.
Fair enough. So I'm not gonna put you on the spot, Commission. Ask you, who do you think is gonna win? Right? I'm not gonna do that to you. But would it be safe to say that you feel like all the teams have at least an outside shot to be the one that wins?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I would put you on the spot, because how I get, man. I mean, then again, one of the important things is people getting called up, so you may not have the same team 2 or 3 weeks from now that you have now. You may not have the same team next week. Right. But the fact that they have a lot of guys, even when we talked a little bit about your team, talked about depth, the importance of depth. You have to have depth.
Have to. It's a long season. Yep. Right. And if you're not planning on playing 12 games, right, to win a championship, or 11 games, depending if you got to bye in the playoffs, right. There's a lot of games, a lot of people getting hurt, so if you don't have the depth now, you might be in trouble later. But, you have until the last week of the season, right, game number 8, to finalize your roster.
Right. So you can still make some moves if you need to.
Up until last week.
But there has to be guys that you want to bring in that's going to bolster the team as well by then. So
right. And see, a lot of people try to bring in a lot of guys in the end. When you bring in a lot of guys in the end, that messes up what your team already built, right? The camaraderie you already built throughout the season. So you got to be careful of what positions you bring in, towards the end of the season. It's very, very crucial.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because chemistry is everything. For any team who's trying to attempt to, win any type of championship, win the playoffs, go deep, those things.
Yep.
Definitely do got to have that chemistry.
Yeah. So you got to leave the receivers and quarterbacks alone. You want to bring people in, bring in O lineman or D lineman. D lineman is, if you can get to the quarterback, you got a shot. If you can protect the quarterback, you got a shot.
Yeah. I don't want to say. I've been doing a lot of laughing inside right throughout this show. It's been great. So a lot of laughing inside, because you got to keep it. You got to keep a certain level. But one of the things I love is just all the optimism. Like, everybody's like, yeah, we got it. Like, we play our football, we're gonna win. It's like, it's not gonna be everybody, but hey, somebody's right.
Yeah.
So we'll see who it is.
Yeah. And also last week I forgot to shout out Brantley Allen, receiver with the Cobras from the P State Cats, when I was naming people. So I had to make sure I got that in. So he didn't say nothing to it. Nobody said it to me. It was me seeing popped up, and I seen like, oh my God, I forgot about him. Daniel Thomas too, that used to be with the War Eagles. He was with the Cobras last year though, and then he finished the season with the Warriors last year. I'm sure now he'll be with the War Eagles this year. So I just wanted to make sure I got those two guys. I'm sure I'm going to remember somebody else that I forgot. Just because there's a lot of guys in the AL2 that are around in these leagues.
And the good news is we have plenty of weeks for you to
remember and then come back.
Yeah, absolutely. So hey, that'll work out great.
Yeah.
Commish, man. Anything else you want to discuss here before we're done for the night?
You heard a lot of stuff tonight. Man, no, just ready to. I want to get that South Division, going. I'm looking forward to April 5th.
It's gonna be fun. It's
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
Yep.
And
Definitely.
I'll actually be seeing you April 5th.
Yeah. Yep.
That'll
I'll be down in Ralph can't get away from me.
I don't think he's trying, so it'll be fine.
So I'll be at their game versus P State. So
yeah, that'll be good to see. Season be getting kicked off. Guys, make sure you are paying attention and watching AL2 Turf Talk, because a lot of things we'll be discussing. We'll be going through your other divisions, give you an opportunity to, meet the other teams, the other owners, coaches, players. So when you see these guys on the field, you can remember, like, oh, that's the guy that was on the show. That's the dude over there throwing the headset. That's the coach we were talking to. It happens. But it'll be a great time. I think the people love it. I think it'll be exciting for us. It'll be exciting for the fans. It'll be exciting for everyone. And again, y'all, this is a product that you want to spend some time and throw a little money at. You don't watch something, so why not watch something entertaining where you can meet guys, you can meet owners, you can meet coaches, understand the stories behind the guys. These are not just going to be faces in uniforms. A lot of these guys you're going to have had an opportunity to hear a lot about before the season, during the season. So, hey, hopefully some connections get made and some people kind of really get behind it from what they're seeing, what they're hearing from us.
Yeah. Yep. That always continue putting out a good product, from top to bottom, whatever it is that has the AL2 attached to it.
Yeah.
And like I said last week, right, there's going to be some that are going to be, not good all the time, but you move on from that and make it right. Fix it.
Absolutely. So, hey, good people, make sure you join us for another episode of AL2 Turf Talk next week. But in the meantime, make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing to the different channels where you are seeing these products at. And we appreciate, again, all the coaches, all the players, and the commissioner himself for taking the time to hop on, chop it up with us a little bit, and get ready. April 5th is coming.
Oh, yeah. Yep, kick off.
Absolutely. And hey, with that being said, appreciate everyone. We are out. Another episode of Turf Talk is in the books.
Yes, sir.
Retro.